Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Denim Slippers and welcome back to the Denim Slippers Show. Today we're talking about CANZUK, or Canada, Australia, New Zealand and the United Kingdom. CANZUK is a geopolitical movement spanning across 3 continents and 4 countries. All 4 of these countries are former members of the British Empire, with Canada, Australia and New Zealand being former colonies and later dominions of that empire. In 1932, these countries, along with South Africa, India, Southern Rhodesia and the Irish Free State, came together at an imperial conference to discuss ways that the countries could support each other through the Great Depression. Their solution was to reintroduce the commercial policy of imperial preference. Imperial preference meant that goods traded within these countries would be cheaper. They would have less tariffs and tax on them. The current CANZUK movement has 3 main objectives or pillars. 1. Free trade and movement of peoples. 2. A shared foreign policy. And thirdly, shared constitutional affairs or a closer political union. It looks to achieve these aims by lobbying the Australian and New Zealand governments to incorporate Canada and the United Kingdom into the Trans-Tasman travel agreement, therefore achieving the free movement of peoples. The second part, free trade, has been a difficult one to achieve. However, since Brexit, it has been largely backed by both the UK government, particularly the Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, and the Australian government. Both look to implement a free trade agreement once Britain has left the EU in 2021, after the implementation period. The second pillar of a shared foreign policy is something that the countries already share. The CANZUK countries and the USA already have intelligence sharing agreements under the Five Eyes programme. CANZUK also wants the countries to bring their resources together to help other Commonwealth countries. It wants to help improve infrastructure and education to those less developed countries in the Caribbean and Africa. However, recently, during a Commonwealth convention, the Commonwealth as a whole agreed and pledged more money in these areas. Third pillar of shared constitutional affairs. CANZUK wants a greater political union between its countries, and it wants the Governor-Generals, who represent the Queen, to play a greater role in this. Currently, the Governor-Generals are more ceremonial, but CANZUK would prefer them to have a less ceremonial role and more of an active one. They would meet every 2 years or so, and they would talk on domestic issues and domestic cooperation between the countries. This would strengthen the political ties between the countries, as the first and second pillars work on foreign and economic affairs. CANZUK then, overall, is a political, economic and cultural union. Not unlike the Commonwealth, but it would have greater entanglement, greater cooperation. It would be seen less as an organisation of independent countries, and more as a single entity or a small federation of culturally similar countries. I've been Denim Slippers. I hope you've learnt something today, and I will speak to you in the next video. Bye bye.